Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Here in this video, we are going to discuss Tesla's Q4 delivery number that is coming out tomorrow. As I mentioned in the previous video, some exciting news that suggests Wall Street could be lowballing Tesla's deliveries, that the actual delivery number could come in well higher than consensus estimates, and that would have a very positive effect on Tesla stock. And we will discuss what that could mean for Tesla shares and for your investment. But first, before we get into all of that, the strangest thing happened today outside of Trump Tower in Las Vegas. Take a look at this video. Okay, I'm going to talk over the video. There is clearly fireworks in this Cybertruck bed, as well as some kind of bomb. Okay, now coincidentally, nobody was out front. It looks like somebody was about to walk out front, so thankfully they did not. It doesn't seem like anyone is injured, but this thing just blew up. Oh, hey, there was actually one person out here. I didn't see him standing here. Doesn't look like anyone is actually injured or anything, at least as of now. But it does look like some kind of bomb was planted in the back with a bunch of fireworks. Now, I don't know if this is something that's going to affect Tesla stock or if, Wall Street, let's be honest, they're not the smartest people out there. Some people actually think this was like the battery that malfunctioned. It did not. The big question I really have is, whose Cybertruck was this? And why did they have a bomb and fireworks in the truck bed? Obviously, it looks like someone's trying to send a message or something. But hopefully we have some new details on this. It's just the strangest thing. Bombs and fireworks in a Cybertruck in front of Trump Towers in Vegas. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, in the exciting news that I shared with you in the video earlier today was actually BYD's delivery number for pure electric vehicles. And what you tend to see with Tesla and BYD is they're usually pretty close to each other. Okay, now Tesla has been dominant in this area for the majority of forever, really just, 2023's Q4, BYD sold more than Tesla, but every other quarter, Tesla sold more BEVs than BYD. Now, BYD in Q4 sold 595,000 BEV cars. Now, it is possible that BYD is going to beat Tesla for this quarter, but I doubt Tesla is going to come in with some kind of really low number, though. I think this more or less confirms that I'm probably going to be correct. My base case is 535,000 deliveries for Tesla, with a best case at about 575,000 vehicles for Tesla. Now, you could come in higher than that. You could come in over 600,000 deliveries, but that would be like a black swan event in a good way for Tesla, right? That would really catch everyone by surprise. And if that were to happen, Tesla stock would soar. You'd probably hit $500 per share just really within 2 days or so, I would imagine. But even in my kind of base case scenario, 535,000 deliveries, you're going to see a substantial rise in Tesla stock. Macro to Macro over here on X says that we should have a pretty eventful day tomorrow, and I think that's to say the least. Tesla's Q4 delivery results will drop an hour before tomorrow's market open around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The IR compiled analyst consensus is 506,763 deliveries. Okay, now what's interesting is eventually delivery numbers will not matter too much. And some people say tomorrow's number really doesn't matter too much. I agree with that in the sense of 2025 is really all about autonomy. It's all about full self-driving. It's all about, advancing AI at Tesla, and that's why Tesla will do good next year. I don't think it really will have much to do with delivery numbers, couple thousand higher, couple thousand lower. That's not going to be the main catalyst of next year. But for tomorrow, a good delivery number will be rewarded in Tesla stock, and a bad delivery number will be punished in Tesla stock. Now, good news is Tesla stock has already fallen from almost $490 per share down to $402. Now, we will look at the charts in just a moment and go over different scenarios, and I will speculate a bit for any of you guys that like a little bit of speculation on the first trading day of 2025. Well, we'll get to that. But I think as a general statement, 506,000 deliveries, 507,000 deliveries is pretty damn low relative to BYD's numbers that came out today and the historical kind of pattern that Tesla and BYD tend to follow with each other. If BYD had that strong of a delivery number for EVs, for pure EVs last quarter, I don't think Tesla's going to come in with some kind of shockingly low number at the bare minimum. Now, we like to track Google Trends data here on this channel all the time. Okay, why I like to do that is because certain countries like the United States do not report insurance registration numbers. So the best thing that we can actually do, so Google Trends is the best way that we can kind of game out what US demand probably looks like. Now, if we look at US Google Trends, this is worldwide trends. They've looked good. They've been trending up for a while now, trending down a little bit here over the past 2 days, kind of as to be expected as you start 2025 again. But when you look at the United States, search trend activity has been very good as well for Tesla. Now, I think this quarter's pretty interesting because almost everyone is expecting the $7,500 federal, EV tax credit will go away at some point next year. And since Trump is being inaugurated on January 20th, and that's something that could go away fairly quickly, it seems like from what I've heard, from people I've talked to, from information I've gathered, that people were kind of going out and just making that decision to get that new Tesla while the credit is still available. So I actually think the US could be a strong segment for Tesla this time around. If the US looks something like China's deliveries are going to look for, this quarter, that's where you get that upside surprise, that, 575,000 delivery number. As long as the US was pretty good, not great, not terrible, that's where you get that base case of 535,000. And that's where I feel most comfortable at, but I would not be counting out a really strong number at the same time. And I think in the scenario in which I am correct, and we do get 535 to 575,000 deliveries, I think it's going to be really, really good for Tesla because we've fallen so much. We've fallen from almost $490 down to $402 per share. You've lost over $85 a share in value. Tesla's essentially down 20% in just the last 2 weeks or so, really week and a half. Now, this is not super surprising considering Tesla's deliveries are such a big catalyst. Expectations are a little bit higher this time around. Tesla stock has rallied a lot. It makes sense from the perspective of it maybe, I don't want to discredit someone's intelligence here, but maybe a lack of informed Tesla investor to say, hey, the stocks ran a lot. We're heading into deliveries. Maybe I should reduce some exposure. That makes a lot of sense to me. If you are in, under-informed Tesla investor, if you don't watch videos like these, if you don't follow Google Trends data, if you don't follow China delivery data or Europe data, that would make sense to me. Now, if you do follow this channel, then you're probably a more informed, in fact, you are a more informed Tesla stock investor. And in that case, I think you would want to be excited about Tesla's prospects and Tesla's deliveries heading into tomorrow with the context of Tesla has fallen almost 20% before deliveries. I don't think it you should have seen that kind of decline. Now, that's just my opinion. And obviously, if you bought the decline on Tuesday, I think you're going to be happy with the results that come from this upcoming week. Because in a base case scenario where you get 535,000 deliveries, you beat consensus by almost 10%, right? Closer to about 8%. Then I think in that scenario, Tesla stock can revert back to the 460s, 470s, potentially 480s, even just, over the next couple of trading days, right? To get back to 460 from here would be a 13.5% move. Tesla could easily do over 10% tomorrow if you come in, 535, 540,000 deliveries or so. Now, if you come in with something like 600,000 deliveries, something just mind-blowing, Tesla stock tomorrow is going to be around 470, in my opinion. 16% or so gain in a single day. Now, you would likely continue to rally past $500 per share if you do get a 600,000 plus delivery number, or even like 575,000 delivery number. I think that almost certainly guarantees you're going to break above $500 per share. Okay, now, do you get above $500 per share with 535,000 deliveries? Probably, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But if we come in with a really low delivery number, I think you have minimal downside from here. I think you're falling about 5% down to about $385 per share. That's the trend line here. In a more worst case scenario, you're going to fall another 14% down to about 346. That 50-day moving average would be the next level to be watching for. And really, the bear case for tomorrow is like 485,000 deliveries. If that happens, Canada, rest of world, and US were very weak. Okay? I don't see that. I don't see that in the trends. I don't think that makes a lot of sense, especially considering BYD's delivery numbers that came out today. That should really boost a lot of your confidence in Tesla's delivery number that will be coming out. Because again, besides one quarter, Tesla has always delivered more vehicles than BYD, right? Historically speaking, in the last couple of years, every quarter. Purely electric vehicles, that is. So, with that context, you should be pretty certain. I feel, obviously, this is not financial advice. This is not a certainty, of course. You should feel pretty confident about Tesla's prospects heading into tomorrow. At least I do personally, and that's just my assessment. Now, why I'm excited generally about Tesla also is because the markets are in a very fearful place. The equal weight S&P is down almost 8% from all-time highs. The headline S&P is down almost 4%. But when you look at the internals of our markets, percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average, for an example, at 32.77%. 67% of stocks are in an active downtrend. Anytime you're at levels like this, you want to be buying markets. Now, when I think about the context of why we are here, why markets are in such a severe downtrend right now, there's nothing I can sit here and point to and, make a logical argument for. In other words, nothing has changed for markets. Just, I think you've seen some profit taking into year end, and I think you've seen some tax loss harvesting, right? That's why I think we are at these very negative levels for markets. If you look at CNN Fear and Greed Index, you're at 27 was your previous close yesterday. Okay, that is very, very low levels. And again, there's not a whole lot of reasoning for that. And as long as we're in a bull market still, which last I checked we still are, you always want to buy something when the CNN Fear and Greed Index is in fear or extreme fear, or when 70% of stocks are in an active downtrend. Okay, unless I'm missing something and something dramatically changed over the past 2 weeks, which I'm not, then, you'd want to be buying this market. That's not financial advice. Everyone's situation is going to be different, clearly. But generally, if you have money that you can invest, that you want to invest, I think now is a great opportunity to do so. Now, a lot of people are bearish right now. I thrive on that. I feel more confident in buying when everyone is bearish. Everyone is bearish, it seems like. Look at the comment section of this video. There's going to be a lot of people that are bearish, that are saying markets are going to crash, stocks are going lower, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that fuels some of this confidence. Okay, I get a little nervous when people are too bullish or when people are too bearish. Then obviously, I get more bullish in that scenario, and that's where we are now. Now, some people will say the Fed changed. Jerome Powell changed estimates for the Fed cutting rates on December 18th. That's true. The Fed went from projecting 3 rate cuts next year down to 2. Okay, markets generally at the same place. So we lost 1 cut, but what happened? The Fed raised their growth outlook. So now we're expecting higher growth with less cuts. It pretty much equals out, right? Less cuts, higher growth. Which one do you want? Do you want slower growth, recessionary environment, and more cuts? Or do you want a very strong economy with fewer cuts? Most people are going to say they would want a very strong economy with fewer cuts, because you start to get into recessions, you're looking at like 50+% declines on markets over the course of multiple years. Like, nobody really wants that. So I don't think that's really, something that markets are bearish on. I don't think anything has negatively changed in the last 2 weeks. The only thing that happened is stock prices fell. And I want to take advantage of that. Be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful, as Warren Buffett would say. And well, the stock market's the only sale in town where people do not line up. Now, also encouraging, as I shared in the last video, option activity on Tuesday was very strong. You had $213 million worth of trades with a positive order value of 84%, comprised of 223 different trades specifically. You're also heading into 2025 with very high levels of, short positions are at very high levels. You got almost 3% short interest off your float, $32.5 billion sold short in Tesla, totaling almost 81 million shares. Like, there is a lot of room for short sellers to cover on short positions, driving the stock higher and, driving our portfolios greener. So that's kind of the way that I'm looking at things from a broader market perspective. I think we're due for a bounce. Tesla with a high beta is going to bounce even more than the markets. I'm looking at tomorrow as if there's probably an 80+% chance that we beat 506,000 deliveries as the consensus. Like, I'm very confident that we're going to beat that. In that scenario, with a broader market bounce, with good news for Tesla via Tesla, a good Tesla delivery number, the stock's going to bounce a lot from here. Okay, that's my personal expectation. Now, broader kind of sense here in 2025, I think there's one big trend that will emerge where the alpha will be in our markets, where the outperformance will be in our markets. Okay. It is in AI appliers. It is in companies that are actually doing something, creating products and services with AI. Tesla is number 1 in that field. Tesla's, I think, going to be one of the best stocks to own next year. It's going to be one of the highest returns. The stock could have a 200+% year from current levels, okay, if things go well. Tesla's going to be one of the best stocks to own next year, in my opinion. You also have software that I think is going to do well, AI software like Elastic or MongoDB, both of which those stocks have also gotten crushed recently. And I do like data centers as well as kind of an off trade if you were looking for something besides Tesla to own. But I do think Tesla is number 1 for, prospects for next year. But again, that is just my personal expectations. That is how I am kind of positioning my portfolio and thinking about Tesla right now. And I gotta tell you, I'm very excited heading into tomorrow, and I'm very excited for 2025. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because I know there's a lot of noise right now. There's a lot of fear right now. And yeah, I don't buy into that. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic rest of your day and night. I will see you in the next one.